And this is why you are stuck and you can't move forward. It isn't that God doesn't love you. It isn't that you're not in the right place. It isn't somebody else's fault. It isn't, it's just not the time. Nah, I had the dopest revelation today. The reason why you have not experienced the abundance you know you're supposed to receive is simply because of you. Yeah, you. You've been in your own way. Have you ever heard that phrase before? I used to hear it all the time growing up. People would tell me, I have these big dreams and I have this presence, and I will talk to them. They'd say, Marquise, you know what? You got it, man. You just gotta get out of your own way. And it used to piss me off and frustrate me to no end, because I was like, yo, if I could get out of my own way, I'd be just like this. Oh, this is in the way? Let me do like that. But I couldn't figure out what the hell they meant by get out of your own way. And it used to drive me nuts. I remember one time a mentor of mine, like this guy traveled the world, empowered people and universities and churches and business leaders would consult with him. He was that guy. And one of the times we were in Chicago visiting, we were walking on Michigan Avenue, and we were walking. It was my first time in Chicago with him. He was walking. He was just kind of letting me feel the energy of the city. And there was a gentleman who walked up in front of us. I think he was experiencing homelessness. He walked up in front of us. He looked at him. He looked at me, and then he bowed. He bowed in front of me. And I was like, that was interesting. I looked at my mentor and I said, he got that wrong because you're the guy. My mentor said, nope. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. I had to take that in. I'm taking it in again right now. He said, the man did exactly what he's supposed to do. That's a sign for you. And I didn't believe it. I pushed it back. Now, this doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else, but it does mean, am I in conflict with myself about what the universe is trying to show me about what I'm supposed to do because of what others think, or how I see myself as an ant, as a grasshopper in front of giants? Man. And so when I have, or you have, the resistance to push back, like that's not possible for me, or that's incorrect, or someone's better than me, then we shrink. We shrink who we are, and we close off the possibility and the opportunities that come our way to allow us to progress. Man, I'm telling you, this changed my life this morning. You see, because when I was 13 years old, I'm going to go back to you because this is you. What are the visions you had? What were the insights you had? For me, using me as the example, I knew I was supposed to be wealthy. It's no secret. What I mean by I knew, it wasn't like, ooh, I'm going to be rich someday. And let me be really clear. There's nothing wrong with that desire. That's actually really cool because that sets forth the desire, the effort, the focus to do it. And many people have done that. And I love it. Instead, for me, it was like a little seed that just bubbled up. Like at Yosemite, before it exploded, it just bubbled up. You're supposed to be wealthy because there's a lot of people that you're supposed to take care of. All right, cool. That works. I was like, okay, cool. Money wasn't something I cared about. I was enjoying life. And then I looked up my name somewhere around that time as well, which means nobleman and aristocrat, one who's supposed to take care of others. You see, my mama named me Marquise to fit in this family lineage thing of the letter M, but she didn't know why she chose that name. There was a plan long before I arrived, and she just happened to fall in line by randomly naming me Marquise. So I lived with this idea that I'm supposed to be wealthy, right? I lived with that. And then at 17, I knew I didn't want to work for any company more than 5 years, 7 max, and that would have to be with promotions. Well, why would you say that? Because I was raised like a millennial. I'm an Xer, but I was raised like a millennial. My father gave me tools and assets that helped me think differently before all this became a craze. My mind was already on, let me figure out how to create my own. And so that's been a part of me. I knew I wanted to travel the world and empower people. There was no secret. I just knew it. But I didn't do it for 30 years. Was it 30 years? No, it wasn't 30. 20 years or so. I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I was listening to how others navigated or told me what I was supposed to do. I wasn't spending time going in, finding out what is my next move. I was looking at this system outside of me going, what's my next move? Or who's going to open a door for me? And doors were open because I remember when I met this mentor, I was working for a technology company called EDS, and it was cool. I was getting paid decent, and all my boys are ballers now that used to work there with me. And I remember him saying, yo, I need a position. I need a personal assistant out in Seattle. And I was like, deal. Now, why did I say that? Because I remember one of the moments that I had when I left Seattle at 17, headed to Michigan, was I felt this thought like in my heart, like I felt like God said, I'm going to bring you back to Seattle for ministry. And I was kind of like, first of all, I'm not even interested in ministry, but okay, I didn't make up this thought because it's certainly not something I'm interested in. Cool. But in that moment, I knew, next step. I heard that voice. It matches something I heard before. Let me lock in. And so I did. That started this journey of like newness and things I didn't understand. I took a 30% pay cut, not because I'm a beast, not because it made sense, because it made zero sense. As, by the way, his death of anniversary was yesterday. Too cool. But what it did was it put me in alignment with what I believe my destiny was and who I'm supposed to be on this planet. And that started a series of events, et cetera, got me to Chicago, et cetera. Recently, I had something occur that I had been waiting for. And this whole phrase, remember I told you earlier, I started off with, you got to get out of your own way. You got to get out of your own way. Well, anytime you're listening outside of yourself, you may be learning, and that's good. But what is the inner saying? What is the inner saying? What did you last hear that was a notion, okay, this is when you take action, or now it's time for you to move? I am working on something right now that can change some lives, like significantly. And I remember that it was about a month or 2 months ago, there was someone who came into my heart as an investor, and it was like, you know what, you need to call this person for investment. And the reason I know I need to call this person is because when they saw me about 8 months ago, families are cool, kids are cool. This is how I know them. The person came up to me and said, hey, if you need anything, you need to call me. It's like, okay, sounds good. I wasn't thinking about it. I was surprised. Like when I tell you they make moves, you understand. That dropped in my heart to contact them with what I'm working on about 2 months ago. And I had made the call. I was like, I'm going to make this call. Now, I did make the call. And since that time, several things have been happening. I've been making moves with this idea, this business I've been working on, that I've been working on for years now, actually. All of a sudden, there was like a breakthrough, and I've been putting pieces in place. And I kept hearing this little voice in me, you need to call the investor. And I'm like, let me get these things right first. In fact, one of my guys reached out and said, yo, we're interested in investing in you, but I want you to take this financial modeling course. Just take a look at it so your numbers can be tight. We believe in what you're up to. We saw that it's infancy. We believe in it. We want to invest. So I grabbed that. And that was another piece. It's like, oh man, this is amazing. I'm learning this information. I'm getting out of my own way. I'm just following the flow and it's working. And I'm like, oh my God. Then that voice called the investor. And I was like, oh yeah. Oh, heck yeah. He came to me in January. It's boom. I'm going to do that. It's a month and a half, 2 months later, and I haven't made the call. I'm a little bit frustrated. I see some tension in the bank accounts. I don't like it. I need more liberty, more freedom to do what I want to do. Because I got a lot of doing and a lot of people who rely on me or who are looking to me like, hey, and I know it's my responsibility to go, all good. But I haven't been able to answer the call in its fullness. Why? Because I don't have the leverage that I really need yet to do it the way it's set inside of me. So I'm running around frustrated. I'm like, God, yo, what's up? What is it, man? What's going on? And it hit me this morning. I was listening to Abraham Hicks, and I was listening to a prophet, and they were talking about this idea of all the abundance that's supposed to come out of me. I've been hearing about this for months. Like, yo, it's about to happen. It's going to happen overnight. It's about to happen. It's going to be so much. You have to stay focused. Now, hold on. I don't know if you heard what I said. It's going to happen and be so good. You have to stay focused. That's called a lot. And so I've been working at this, trying to open doors. And I grow into a little bit of frustration because I got people coming to me that in some ways, some I can help, some I have not been able to help. So I had to, and I don't like that. That's just not me. It's not me being fully expressed. And I'm like, God, what's wrong? And I heard it this morning. I've been getting in my own way again. And I'm like, what? I haven't heard that in a while because I've been flowing. And then I slowed it down and thought about it. And maybe this is happening to you. The idea that I didn't make the phone call yet is how I got in my own way. Well, what do you mean, Marquise? Okay, check it out. So there's the natural you in this 3D realm. There's the spiritual you in a different realm. When the natural realm dies, the spirit realm lives. So the real you is this, the spirit. But you're really both, right? Simultaneously. But the question is, who's leading? Well, the spirit's supposed to lead like it did when I left the job and I got started in my career. I went back to Seattle and things started to open up like it did when I started listening to the prophets. Because if you listen to the prophets, you're going to prosper. Just so much. There's so much speaking to the spirit realm and showing me at 13 and showing me at 17. And I'm flowing in it. I missed all those years in between because I was listening to everybody else. But I'm back in my flow. And so I was told, contact the investor. All right, let me get these things together. The mind went to work, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm supposed to think. I'm supposed to prepare, right? But I found myself in a place of frustration going, wait a minute, this isn't making sense. What's taking so long? And then I realized today, it's because I'm efforting. And when you effort, you're going to believe in the idea that it takes a lot of hard work. And so you got to muscle your way through. Or you get in your head and you start trying to knowledge your way through, trying to figure it out. And all it led to and all it leads to is frustration and more hard work. But it dawned on me. It dawned on me that I'm in my own way because I'm using this part of me to take me to my future. This part of me is ruled by this part of me. I cut it off. This is the side that said make the phone call. This is the side that said do the things. Both are right. But this is the governor of what this one does. So what I learned this morning was the reason why I haven't succeeded is because I haven't gone back and did the last thing I was told to do. Goodness. I heard a speaker years ago, his name was Kenneth Copeland. One of the things he said was, life should be easy. Life should be in flow. When you're flowing in spirit, when you're flowing in your connection with God, it should be easy. And when it's not, ask yourself, what was the last thing you were told to do? Go back and do that, and it'll put you back in flow. You ready to get unstuck? You have the answers.